Well, the press, known, of course, especially the national press, and particularly CNN, for its scrupulous political neutrality. So it goes without saying that the hiring of a single middle-of-the-road former Republican staffer has people hysterical about bias. Former DOJ spokeswoman Sarah Flores was just hired by CNN as deputy political editor. According to that creepy kid who covers media for CNN, the staff over there were furious. One unnamed reporter called it a, quote, disaster, and said there were ethical implications to working for someone who publicly supported Trump. Of course, there are quite a few former Obama staffers on the CNN payroll. No problem. Here to tell us more about all of this is media reporter Joe Concha, who covers the press for The Hill. Good to see you, Joe. So, just for the record, Sarah Flores, I know well, and I think a lot of her, but my impression is never that she was some florid right-winger. I mean, I don't know, but I certainly don't have that impression of her. Is she? And why the hysteria over this?
Well, she's worked for some pretty moderate Republicans, whether you're talking about Mitt Romney or Carly Fiorina. Obviously, she was Jeff Sessions' spokesperson. And you're right, the headlines are incredible here. CNN hires GOP operative with no journalism experience to coordinate its 2020 coverage. That was Vox. Esquire, CNN just set the new standard for corporate media's chicken stuff catering to Republicans. Again, CNN catering to Republicans. Every analysis and study I've seen has been overwhelmingly negative towards the president and the administration. But let's put it this way. Let's say CNN hired Valerie Jarrett's daughter, okay? And she was assigned to cover the Trump DOJ despite having no journalism experience whatsoever. Do you think that Esquire, Vox, and all of these other publications would be going nuts right now over a hiring like that of somebody who has no journalism experience but obviously has a bias? And the answer is, we already know the answer because that actually happened in 2017. And you could go down the list. I mean,
really?
Look at George Stephanopoulos.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, of course you didn't. It was barely reported. I wrote about it, I think, 2 years ago, but there wasn't a lot of coverage on that. And again, we see what happened with Hugh Hewitt at MSNBC. Everybody was in an uproar because Andy Lack was trying to bring MSNBC too far to the right by giving Hugh Hewitt an 8 a.m. Saturday morning show for a half hour. He didn't even get the full hour. I was actually on the show. It was quite fun. And it was like, what are you doing? You're turning into Fox News. So that's what happens. You hire anybody from the right in left-leaning news organizations, and they go nuts because it's not conforming to the way things have always gone, like with George Stephanopoulos or like with David Shipley, who worked for the Clinton administration, went on to be a New York Times op-ed editor. And the list goes on, Tucker.
I'm starting to think they're not really in favor of diversity.
Well, it depends on what kind of diversity we're talking about, right? I mean, if we're talking about ideological diversity.
Where people are different,
yeah.
Right. They're not into it.
And look, it was overblown. They're trying to say that Sarah Flores is going to oversee all of the 2020 coverage. No, she reports up to people, and there are several people that have the same title that she does. So it's just one person to try to balance things out a little bit. I mean, give CNN a little bit credit in that regard. But then again, I would say that I agree with the left's or left-leaning publications when they say you could have hired 100 other political editors here that can't be kind of compromised in any way, because we saw what happened at CNN, obviously, with Donna Brazile when she got her hands, not once, but twice, on town hall debate questions and passed them on to the Clinton campaign and said that was my priority over my priority with CNN.
Unbelievable. Oh, Joe Concha, great to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you.